Hi everyone. Um, I don't know what happened last time with the video that I originally made, especially about some things that bothered me, of course. I'm just gonna say this. 2020 is getting ridiculous, especially with people being woke. Like, what is woke? I seriously do not understand it. And finally, I'm okay with Snow White being a Latina, and being played by a Latina actress, and for the dwarfs to be different than the same that they used to be. And besides, Snow White was literally the first animated movie by Disney, and it was in 1937. 1937. That's it. So, I don't know what's wrong with people. If you don't think things, if you don't think it's that Snow White is now woke, or if you're not racist, then what are you? Why are you complaining about this movie that's not even out yet? Why are you complaining about the characters being different than they were in the original? And one of the biggest changes, just other than the characters, is Snow White's story itself. Instead of involving around a prince trying to save her, it involves her becoming a leader. Which is kind of understandable now that I'm thinking about it, because for people who thinks that being a girl boss, or a girl like being tough and defending herself against the bad guys is woke or stupid, I don't know. Besides, we already had some other princesses be tough and individuals without having a prince to save them. Well, sometimes it still happens on occasions. But still. And besides, there's barely any new princesses anymore, so yeah. And besides, in the original Snow White, Prince Florian barely even showed up for most of the movie. He only showed up at the first scene and then the end, where people were complaining about his age being older than Snow White, thinking that he was 31, when in reality he was 18 and Snow White was 14, which isn't a huge age gap. I mean, seriously, I don't know what's wrong with people. They're just complaining about nothing. In my opinion, at least. I mean, what kind of world that we live in that people think that these things that come out of nowhere are now woke? I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't know what happened last time with my video getting age restricted, but I don't want to deal with it. I also forgot to mention that on Sunday, my Nana, my dad, and I are gonna go to Olive Garden, which is great because I missed going to Olive Garden. I mean, I do have Olive Garden dressing at my house to make salads, yes, but I miss the Olive Garden salads itself and adding cheese to it. Besides, I also miss eating their food, like pasta or chicken, just about whatever. And of course, on June 25th, July 25th, is going to be FNAF Circuit Breach DLC Ruined, and the next day after that will be on on July 26th. Puppy's Playtime Chapter 3. I'm excited. I'm mostly excited, but at the least nervous. Now, I also wanted to talk about the fact that Ding Noodles made a short looking at actually, I wonder. Sorry about that. I tried to find the freaking Roblox thing, but I didn't. What was I gonna talk about again? Oh yeah, today's Friday, and shame shit. Dead Meat finally did Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, which is great. And next week is gonna be The Meg, which I've heard about before, once, and apparently it's another shark movie. Right? Wonderful. Seriously, nothing else? Not Halloween Ends, not Megan, not Alice, Sweet Alice, not Daddy's Girl, not The Bad Seed, nothing? Okay. Okay. Fine. That's fine. But I'm still excited for next week because FNAF and Puppy's Playtime. That's all that matters. Oh yeah, there was also I before or after my first trouble with Rift being an absolute jackass. Please, YouTube. You cannot age restrict cuss words. That's not how the internet works. I've done an sort of explanation on the story of Nun Massacre, which is one of my favorite puppet combo games. So I've updated it. So apparently Shannon McDonald, the actual character in the game, the main character, does in fact have a daughter. She was not imagined. So apparently, she replicated the abuse she experienced to her daughter. She replicated the abuse that she experienced and also her daughter at that school for a last resort to save her daughter's soul because she thought Janie was in the clutches of the devil, which might explain why Shannon did not thought that her daughter did not believe in God. I mean, at least she's less like Margaret White, but at the same time, it's just flat out stupid to believe that your child is in the clutches of the devil. I mean, damn, that's some deep stuff. But yes, in a way, Shannon did have a daughter. But I was also taking the story from the novel. So, Mrs. MacDonald's real name is Shannon, and she was born presumably in 1943 in the state of Colorado. She went to St. Cecilia when she was 9 years old in 1952, the Catholic boarding school, and stayed there for 6 months, where she was abused by Mother Apollonia. She later got ill/sick, so her parents decided to pick her up from the school, and Shannon never went to that school again, I think. 29 years later, in 1981, Shannon MacDonald is now 38 years old and had a daughter named Janie, and took her to the Catholic boarding school where Janie Simler gets abused by Mother Apollonia. Janie was taken home by her due to illness, which, considering the circumstances, may have been a code between her and Mother Apollonia for her supposed heresy. Mrs. MacDonald continued and replicated the abuse she experienced in the last-ditch effort to prevent her daughter's soul from being doomed, hoping to accomplish what the boarding school had failed to do, which is sort of understandable, but to abuse your daughter the same way that the school did, it's not right. It's not healthy. In turn, Mrs. MacDonald had allowed or even advised Mrs. Mother Apollonia to be especially strict with Janie and disposition her as, and even after finding out about the extent of the punishments, deciding that they had not been enough in taking the mantle of a nun with an equally cruel disposition as Mother Apollonia, the tipping point for Janie, who hanged herself to escape the torture, basically committing suicide. Later, Shannon commits suicide by electrocution, using a radio being thrown into the bathtub from the trauma she experienced while being abused by Mother Apollonia, but also the guilt of losing her daughter. She wakes up presumably alive and gets a letter by Mother Apollonia saying that her daughter Janie has gotten sick, and needs her to come to the school and pick up Jamie immediately. Shannon gets in her car and drives to the school located on the mountain, where the road has been blocked off, but she heads inside in the school anyways to find her daughter, but then she is attacked by a psychopathic nun, the ghost of Mother Apollonia. Shannon MacDonald also imagined Mother Apollonia trying to kill her. Mrs. MacDonald is trapped in a purgatory of her own trauma, imagined to be her self-guilt, which I put it in the original story that I based it. Of course, you know the endings by now. By the way, I don't know if I should tell you this, but I ship Larry with Mrs. MacDonald/Sharon. Shannon. Her name is Shannon. I'm sorry. They were both abused by nuns. They're both psychopathic and both misunderstood. They deserve to be together. It would be cute. These are theories that I'm either comfortable or uncomfortable with. You can read them for yourself. What? I hope you enjoyed this video. That's just so it doesn't get age restricted. That's all for now. See you in the next video. Bye.